Biker Billy cooks with fire.
All right, hey, welcome to the show tonight, this afternoon. Now, we're gonna do some hot, spicy cooking. Yes, that's what you've come to expect from me. We're gonna cook some interesting stuff that's based on the recipes of a little place called Ceylon. Yes, it's not from your tea bag. It's a little bitty island near India, and I'll tell you all about it when we come back. So grab some hot stuff, sit yourself down, and when we come back, we'll cook with fire, all right! All right, now, what I was saying before I interrupted myself was we're cooking some food based on recipes from a little island called Ceylon. Yes, it's just below the tip of India. It almost looks like a teardrop coming off. And yes, the food there's so hot, it could make you cry. All right, now, it's like Indian food, except instead of being cooked down and soft, the veggies are crisp and crunchy, and the spices are hot and hotter. Now, we're going to make a rice. We're going to make a wonderful thing, a hot, crazy rice. We're going to take ourselves 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to put this in a 2-quart saucepan. Now, we're going to take a medium onion, and what we're going to do is just peel this baby down. Going to get rid of those tops. We don't need them. No siree bomb. We're going to take a medium onion, and we're going to chop it up reasonably fine. Yes, siree. I'll turn my back on you. I can trust you. You're a good audience. We'll take this onion. We'll just chop it up a little bit. And we're going to use some interesting spices. Listen to that sizzle. All right, now, we'll take this onion, we'll chop it up. We're going to put it in the saucepan. I would do this in a frying pan so that you could see it easier, but the rice has got to cook in the deep pan, so you'll just have to bend over the pot and take a look. So, we got our onions in there. See, you can't even see them. Now, we're going to take a long, slim red cayenne pepper. You know, these are some of my favorite peppers. We're going to take, and we're just going to cut this in a couple of pieces. Since we're going to cook this up with a nice, you're just not going to believe the liquids that we're going to use in this. We'll take this, we'll put this in here, and we've got this simmering up. Now, we're going to add something special. Take a look on the cutting board at these funny-looking little white things. You can barely see them. They're cardamom. It's a spice. We're using whole white cardamom. You're going to take a large knife, and you're just going to crush them. You're using 2 of them. You don't need to chop them up. Just crush them so they open, and drop them in there, and give them a shake. Now, this stuff is going to be delicious. We're going to use a couple of secret things. One thing we're going to do is we're going to add some raisins. Yes, as soon as this starts to get golden brown, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of golden raisins. Now, let me tell you something before I add these in, and while these simmer up, let me tell you something about Ceylonese cooking that makes it so special. Coconut. Coconut, both the meat, the solid flesh of the coconut, and something that's called coconut milk. It's not the liquid that comes from the inside of the coconut, but it is actually squeezed out of the flesh. It is, I just got to show you. You buy it in a can. It is so thick. Look at this. It sticks to the lid of the can. It is outrageous. It can be pressed 3 times. The first pressing is the thickest coconut milk. That's what we want. When you buy it in a can, that's usually what you're getting. Now take a look in there. We're starting to get nice and golden. We're going to lay in our 1/2 cup of golden raisins, and we're going to give this a stir. Now, one dish we're cooking today, the rice, we're going to use the coconut milk. The other dish, we're going to use the unsweetened coconut flesh. For the rice, we're going to use the coconut milk, but first we're going to add some spices. Now, we know we've got some cardamom in there. Let's grab some turmeric. We want ourselves a 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, ground turmeric. Take a look at the beautiful color. It is just gorgeous. A nice deep orange. we'll just sprinkle that in there. A half teaspoon of that. We want a half teaspoon of white pepper. We're not adding anything in here that is going to be dark. If you look at white pepper, it's not black. White pepper, a half teaspoon of white pepper. We're gonna put in a half teaspoon of coriander. Now you probably, if you've been watching or if you're familiar with Indian food, you recognize some of these spices. These are very common traditional spices in Indian cooking. We're gonna add another little baby here. We're gonna add some ground cloves. Nice, fragrant ground cloves. Absolutely delicious. Now, we're gonna add these in here. We're gonna keep frying. What we're doing basically is frying the spices together so they get nice and flavorfully associated. When you heat spices in oil, the flavor changes a little bit. It's a little different than if you just drop them in the liquid. Now, I've got here, if you was in Ceylon, you'd have, about a dozen different varieties of rices. Can you believe that? A dozen different varieties of rices to choose from. Here in America, you may not have that many, but we have, can you smell that? Can you smell that out there? We got a type of rice that is very similar to an Indian rice, but it's grown in America. It's long grain white Tex-Mati rice. We're gonna take a cup of that. We're just gonna pop it in here. We're gonna stir it around, and you're gonna wanna cook this together for a little while until, I say maybe 2 minutes goes by. Now, after 2 minutes goes by, all right, we won't wait for 2 minutes now, but you wait for the 2 minutes. You're gonna add 2 cups of water. That's 1 cup of rice, and that's 2 cups of water. Now, coconut milk. Oh boy. You're gonna need a spatula. Watch how thick this coconut milk is. Isn't that incredible? That is so thick. So we're gonna put that in there, and I'm gonna stir this all up, bring it to a boil, and I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of honey. Yes, got my little honey bear here, 1 tablespoon of honey. Now, we're gonna bring it to a boil. We're gonna reduce the temperature, let it slow simmer in a covered pot for about 20 minutes, and when it's ready, it's gonna be all right. Now, you sit back, you relax. When we come back, we'll cook with fire. All right.